One of the biggest hurdles that investors will have to jump is getting finances for the deals that they have found. Without financing, they are unable to buy the home or property, and they haven't really found a deal at all. Finding the right financing is the key to being able to make money on a property. Good rates. The first thing you should look for when financing an investment property is great rates. The rates should be relatively low and should be able to help you avoid paying a lot just to own the property. A good rule of thumb for a real estate investment property mortgage would be to keep the interest rate at below 4%. Getting a good rate will do two things for you. It will save you extra money in the mortgage that you're paying off while flipping the property, and it will enable you to free up money for your expenses. In order to get a mortgage rate that is as low as possible, you should make sure that your credit is in great standing and that you have cash for the down payment. While these things are very helpful when trying to get a low mortgage rate, they are not necessarily the only thing that you will need to have. You may also need to get the financing for your investment property without either of these things. More on this later. Short terms. When you're applying for the mortgage, it is important to let your lender know that you plan to only have the property for a short time before you attempt to sell it for a profit. This can change things in the way that you will be paying for a mortgage. A 30-year mortgage is a great option if you want to make your payments lower while you're flipping the house. It may be harder, though, to sell the home if you have a 30-year on it. While you will pay more on a monthly basis while you're flipping, a 15-year may be the best way to go for your home. It will be much easier, and you'll have more wiggle room if you get a 15-year mortgage on the investment property. Even if you're unable to sell the house right away, you will likely be able to rent it. Depending on your lender, you may be able to get a short-term mortgage. These come with different options, and the newest ones cater to people just like you. Flippers. They are intended for people who do not plan to keep the house for themselves and do not want to be tethered to a decades-long mortgage. No cash. The easiest way to get a home without any cash would be to get a 100% mortgage. This is only for people who have excellent credit or who have been in the military. Not all lenders offer this option. Check with your lender to see if your down payment can be included in the mortgage. If you have another home, you can get a HELOC loan to finance the down payment. The home equity line of credit allows you to borrow against your other property, and you can use that to pay for the down payment. If you're just getting started with flipping, you can use your own home, but understand that you will still be responsible for the payment even if your flip is a flop. Another option for people with very good credit is to get a credit card that you can charge the down payment on. As long as you have a high limit, you should have no problem doing this on the end of your credit card. Be sure to check with the lender before you secure the credit line. Some lenders do not allow this. People who have poor credit can still get a house with no cash in hand, but they will have to get a little bit creative with it. As long as you own something that people may want, you could consider trading the item for the down payment. This works if you have a vehicle or land that you're willing to get rid of. It usually only works for homes that are for sale by the owner. Poor credit. What happens if you have the cash you need for a down payment, but you have poor credit? There are a few things you can do. The first thing that you should consider doing is getting a really inexpensive property. In some areas, you can find a house for around the same as what you would pay for a down payment in other areas. The house will probably be in very poor condition, but that will give you a chance to truly flip it. You can then sell it for a profit and repeat the process, moving on to larger and more expensive houses. This method does not require you to get any type of mortgage.